This is the front brake and rotor axle setup on my 82 one-ton GMC. I just finished putting the new rotor and rebuilt hub on here. The old rotors were worn very unevenly, so there was some speculation that either my caliper was not sliding or the brake line had collapsed internally. These brake lines, who knows when they were replaced last, so I need to get them gone, get something reliable on there. What I've already done is disconnected the brake hose at the caliper and let that drain into a bucket, rather than if you disconnect it up here with fluid in the line, I think it will just run down the frame rail, so this was a little bit cleaner. Disconnect the caliper and let that drain first. On the outside of the frame in the wheel well, you see the hose. This clip comes from between the frame and the fitting. This clip holds this hose so it doesn't slide in. The hex fitting on the hose matches a hex cutout in the frame so that the hose can't turn. Here's what it looks like on the inside of the frame rail. You can see the hard line here. This is right here. The inside part is the hose end coming through the frame, and this is the nut, the brake line fitting that is screwed into the hose. These connections can be extremely difficult to get off on these old trucks. This one's given me a little bit of trouble, but we're getting it out. Between the end of the brake line hose and the frame is a metal clip that I've already taken out. I'll show you that in a minute. But that keeps the hose from going through the frame. Here we are back on the outside of the frame rail. The technique that I found that worked for me is to cut the hoses off as close as you can up here, just using a pair of dikes or wire cutters. And you're not going to reuse the old hose anyway. They cut alarmingly easy. And then you can get a 6-point or a 12-point regular wrench on there, get a really good hold of it. Since you've got the clip on this side and the other side out, the fitting is loose, so you can move it around. What worked for me was using the wrench on the outside and then a vice grip on the inside flare nut. I used a line wrench on the inside, and that did not work for me since they're so tight. You can see I've got the hose end off finally. It fought me, but finally broke free. This is the hex-shaped hole in the frame, and it just grips the hex part of the hose. This is the end that the hard line screws into through the frame like this. So I've got the brake hoses off the truck. Here's the old hose, of course. Really not in that great a shape. Who knows how old they are, but here's the end that came off, and the clip that goes on the outside of the frame rail, and here's the clip that goes on the inside of the frame rail. I didn't show that coming off, but I decided to replace them with some extended lines from ORD, Off-Road Design. These are good for up to a 6-inch lift. I don't have a lift on the truck right now, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do in the future. But these are Teflon in the core, and then Kevlar and stainless steel, and then a plastic coating over that. So real quality lines. The ORD kit comes with obviously the 2 fronts, but also comes with the extended rear. So I'm not going to put that on right now, but sometime soon. Like I said before, these brake lines on these old trucks can be difficult to get off. I started out with trying a line wrench, which is excellent for fuel lines or brake lines where you can't get a closed-ended wrench around it. I could tell that this was going to start rounding it off. Didn't work, so I progressed on to some vice grips. This was recommended on the internet, this model. It works pretty well for holding the brake line nuts. But in the end, I did have to use a bigger regular vice grip, and then on the outside, like I said before, I used a 12-point or a 6-point wrench. But another thing is you should definitely soak these brake line fittings in penetrant. This is PB Blaster. WD-40 is not really that great as a penetrant, but there are some other ones out there that are good.